Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Something a little bit different for this review. I have called in a couple of friends by the name of Oliver Harper. Hello there, Olly.
Hello there.
And Daniel Ibbertson.
Hello.
Yes, they are going to be joining me to review Batman Arkham Knight. This game, it's going to be a little bit more spoiler specific, so spoiler. What's the word? Spoil. It's going to have spoilers in the video anyhow. So if you haven't completed the game just yet, please be aware we may be giving away a lot of the plot points as well. So yes, so we've all completed the game right now, so we've all got our opinions on what it is, and I thought I'd bring in a couple of people because it is so much of a game, really. There's so much to talk about, really.
Absolutely, yeah.
So what do you guys think of it in general? First of all, let's start with that.
Go on, you go first, Oliver.
Well, okay. Well, I've already reviewed the game in kind of like a non-spoiler kind of way, but there was there's so much story I kind of missed out and wanted to discuss. But it is something where, you know, if you mention one plot point, it can spoil the whole experience for many people. But
let's just spoil away then. I mean,
let's spoil away.
Hopefully, you've completed the game by now. I think people do like to validate their opinions on a finished game. I mean,
of course. In terms of story-wise, I mean, I found the game to be. It's hard to think back now to Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and think which one had the best story because they're all so good. And with Arkham Knight, I think this one probably had the most drama thrown into it. You know, the sort of twists and turns and. You know, near the beginning, you know, when Batman starts losing his mind and the Joker appears, which I did not expect.
No. I think people were actually looking forward to having a Batman game that didn't centre around the Joker for once. I mean, that was a big complaint and a lot of people had about it.
Well, that was a complaint for me when I kind of played Origins for the first time. When the Joker popped up so early into the game, I was gutted.
That was a bit cheap because they...
In Origins?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah. I haven't gone through Origins.
Oh, okay. Well
spoiled that for you then, haven't I?
Surely you got to the part where a Joker's about, have you?
I got to the part where you fight Croc, and I went, I'm not going to play this anymore.
Oh, that's just a Blackgate mission. That's like the first 10 minutes.
It's literally the first 10 minutes.
No, well, basically, all the trailers for it were all sort of leading up to like the Black Mask being the main villain of the game, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they just spoil it by putting the Joker. Then again, they did spoil it by putting the Joker's face in the front of the box, I suppose. But that does kind of give away who he's in the game.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, I do know a lot of people are annoyed that Joker does play such a prominent role in Arkham Knight, even though he's dead.
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, when he did pop up, I mean, he wasn't that much of an annoyance. You know, he'd say some funny things because Mark Hamill, you know, he's fantastic voice as Joker, so hearing more of him was always a pleasure. But he kind of halfway through the game, he does take a bit of a backseat, and he's not really there for a while. So you kind of forget about him until the end.
Exactly. Yes.
I found it get to a point where you literally saw the Joker. Like, it got to a point that, you know, he popped up here and there. That was really cool. But then eventually he was just everywhere you turned. There's the Joker. There's the Joker. There's the Joker. You can see how they did it, and. It almost got, for me, probably in this game more than others, too much Joker at one point.
I think near the beginning when he does pop up, you know, you kind of stick around to hear what he says, but maybe after about an hour or two playing, you just like go away, just walk off and do the next mission, you know.
Although he did make, I got the best bits of when you see him at one point and you walk along a little bit more and he's continuing talking at another bit and you move along a bit more and he's continuing talking there. But when you go into the into those pipe bits that you have to climb up into and he's actually in there as well, that was really creepy. That was. I was like, oh, I like that. That's cool.
I think it's also cool that, you know, when you do the detective vision, he's not actually there. He's no skeleton there, is there?
No, but he's you still see the outline of him, don't you?
Yeah, you still see him there, but, you know, it's just a given away that he's not really there.
Yeah.
So, a bit of a skeleton type thing. But speaking of being here too much, I think there's been loads of complaints about having the Batmobile in the game way too much as well.
I thought the introduction of the Batmobile was, you know, something that was needed. It was, I think, the most problems that I had with it was when you had to do the Joker kind of challenges, where you got 10 challenges to complete to save Catwoman. And I didn't mind doing... So with the Riddler, sorry, yes.
Riddler, yeah.
and you have to do the racing challenges, and then you've got those ones where you're on those kind of you're tipping the platform to make the car get up to the next level, and you've got to fight. That took time and patience, and it did frustrate me. And as you say, the sort of tank missions did get a little bit kind of challenging and time consuming. But it's all down to practice, really. I mean, some people kind of a little bit harsh on when they first played it, but once you get the grips of it, it's quite good fun.
Yeah, I got to admit, the very first time you start playing with the Batmobile, it really is quite hard to get your hands around just doing those tight corners and all that sort of stuff. And you really try and get into the drifting, but I eventually just stopped using the drift completely, and actually really enjoyed using the Batmobile after a while. I really.
That drifting thing did annoy me. In the end, I just half the time it's just got slightly confusing the controls as well using the drifting now, and I keep turning it into tank mode every 5 seconds and go around the corner.
Yeah.
Well, someone said to me was like, change the controls. It's a lot easier with the car, but I never kind of looked into changing.
I read that as well. Apparently, you got to change the controls, but I didn't bother.
No, I didn't. I
mean, if you play things like Transformers: War for Cybertron, I think I mentioned in my review, it would be a lot easier for you to pick up and play. But if you've never played these kind of Transformer games, then the act of driving and then transforming into a big tank can be a bit, at first a little bit kind of daunting, trying to control it all and trying to take out the bad guys at the same time. But I think the more as you progress, I think it gets a lot easier. Because at first, the challenges are quite easy with the car, but they kind of, how they've programmed it. The more you get into the game, it does get more difficult. But by that point, you should know what you're doing.
I did find them missions where you have to fight the tanks when you're setting off the mine. I thought they were way too much of them. They're just too a bit annoying.
And they were really hard to find as well. That was literally one of the last things I needed to do. I mean, I've still got a load of Riddler challenges to do, but those mine things took ages to
find. Everybody leaves them till last.
Just before this, Riddler's just announced that I picked up my 100th Riddler question mark.
Oh, well done. I've only got about 40.
I've only got about 100. No, I just when I stumble across them, I'll try and do them and that.
Yeah, because with you're saying about the landmines, during the course near the end of the game, it would stop giving you clues as to where they were. I found because I jumped from one mission to the next, and usually the police would inform you, where the next crime was. If, for example, the firefighters, a helicopter would fly over it and pinpoint where they are, so you'd know on the map where to go. But once I've done maybe about 9, I think how many mines did you have to destroy? Is it about 10 or 14?
I think there's about 10. I'm sure it's 10.
When I got down to the last 2, I didn't know where they were. I just literally came across them by accident.
Yeah, same as I think I was chasing a green car and it just went bling. I was like, right, there it is.
Yeah,
yeah, you lucky son.
I didn't even see it. It was only because it pops up.
By that point, it gets so difficult to take out the mines because you just get bombarded. Even with those little mini helicopters, they're a bust.
And those bloody things, the heat-seeking missiles and that.
Yeah.
God.
When you got 3 of those around you, all you're doing is just spinning around, like shooting your little machine gun to get rid of the.
Machine gun's pointless.
It is.
It is a bit, yeah. Because I always just use machine gun and mix that with the rockets while that's reloading. Just machine gun everything.
But then it automatically turns off the machine gun when there's people around and just shoots like a one-off like sniper shot, doesn't it? At the people. Yeah,
it stuns people. Batman doesn't kill.
Yeah, even though he can run them over in his car. I'm sure that would result in a murder.
No, they shoot out the side, all covered in electricity, don't they?
Yeah, well, that's still. I mean, surely he knows about equal and every action causes an equal and opposite reaction, isn't it? So
yeah.
Being hit by something at that force would cause some sort of permanent trauma.
But not only being run over, but being electrocuted as well. It's just like rubbing salt into the wounds. And
and then when you drive past, you shoot them just for good measure. I do think there was way too many Batmobile 4 stuff in there, and I think even the developers knew because there's also the Scarecrow Batmobile missions. And they were taken out and put into the IA missions. So,
did they?
Yes.
Okay. Is that for the PS4 version?
It's a timed exclusive for the PS4 version.
Oh, right. Okay.
So gutted about that. Well, they actually took out the Scarecrow missions, and is that what they did from the story?
I strongly suspect they realised there was way too many Batmobile missions going on in the game. But basically, you have a checkpoint racing to get to the one thing where he's shooting like syringes out the ground and stuff like that, and there's flames and fire everywhere. And then you got to fight some tanks and a possessed sort of monster bat version of that Arkham Knight helicopter boss fight. But you've got to be doing this while shooting a giant scarecrow in the background.
Oh, so it's one of those sort of trippy kind of sequences, like in Arkham.
So yeah, it's like he's supposed to be like in hell.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, that's.
I mean, having the car though, I mean, it's so beneficial though, because some missions are set so far away. You know, who's going to want to jump out of the car and glide across the entire city?
I still think it's quicker to glide.
It's definitely.
I just get in the car and bomb it. It's a lot easier, I think.
I think.
No, I just like grapple through and then
when you got the maximum grapple things, it's a lot quicker. By air and stuff.
You're just smashing that X button, aren't you? Go.
But we'll speak a bit more about the story itself. I did notice one bigger mission that was going to be a big thing in Arkham City that they said absolutely nothing about in Arkham Knight, and that was the big reveal that Harley Quinn was pregnant. Do you remember that at the end of Arkham City?
God, I've got to try and rack my mind about that now. I don't remember that.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, okay. Well, if you look, she's got a cot in that, and at the end, she's sort of singing lullabies on the ending credits.
Wait a minute. Okay, now you mention it. No, sorry.
Well, basically, this game's set 6 months after Arkham City, and she's got a very thin figure for somebody who's at least 6 months pregnant. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I think DC got a bit funny about that and said, no, she can't be pregnant. They got a bit funny about it. I reckon. That's what I reckon. But and also the big story about who the Arkham Knight is. We are not going to say who he is, just in case, even though you could just Google it. But what did you think about the story of who he was?
Leading up to it, like, I had my suspicions on who it was. And the whole way in, I was just like, I really hope it isn't this guy.
I just hoped he wasn't a fucking Joker. That's what I thought when
I did think that towards the beginning, but then when he appeared, then I was like, okay, it's not going to be the Joker.
Yeah.
I just that went out of my mind. But then I really hoped it wasn't going to be one guy, and it was. So it was. The reveal was a tiny bit disappointing for me, I think. Like, I wanted it to be someone else. The thing with the Batman games is I know enough about Batman, but the people I find out about in like the original Batman, like, I didn't know much about Killer Croc in the first game. And, you know, like the backstories, even characters that I do know. And in this one, it's all about Professor Pig. I didn't know nothing about that guy before I played this.
No, nor did I. I never come across him.
I did. He's the main villain in Beware the Batman. The cartoon, the short-lived CD series.
But I actually wanted the Arkham Knight to be someone I didn't know about completely. I wanted to be completely blown away, and I wanted to. I'll end up looking him up on Google, finding out more about him, and I knew everything about this guy.
I was hoping it was going to be because they force-fed you who it was going to be straight away halfway through the game. They keep going on and on about this guy, and Batman's like remorseful about this guy, what happened to him, and So when they revealed it was him, it was because Rocksteady is normally quite clever with twisting things, aren't they?
Yeah. You see, I thought the reveal was quite effective to me because I didn't have a clue at the time. Because for some reason, at the back of my mind, I thought Batman was still a bit loopy, and the Arkham Knight just was a figment of his imagination.
The whole Fight Club thing.
Yeah, for some reason, I just thought that. Then, obviously, when the Joker's kind of appears, where you can't have two people there, in Batman's mind.
He takes his helmet off, and it's Meatloaf for two moves.
Yeah. But no, it didn't. I found it quite effective. But the clues are already kind of played out.
It's not really clues. It's here's the guy. I bet you can't guess who it is now. And
But as I say, when Batman's kind of losing the plot and he sees stuff, the clues are there, isn't it? And I just didn't click in my mind, despite being thoroughly engrossed into the story.
I suppose what they were trying to do was tell you exactly who it was, so obviously that you actually thought, it can't be this guy, surely.
Yeah, it's a good point, Dan. Yeah, I think, I'm going with that.
I
was more like, please don't let it be this guy, really. But...
Yeah, I didn't want it to be him. I mean, it works really well. But and when he is revealed, and you've got then that whole scene in the underground part where you're being chased by the big mining thing, I really like that.
That's quite a good boss fight.
Yeah, that was good. There's not many boss fights in this game, is there?
No.
Not really clever ones. I mean, they tried to be clever with the fake Jokers, didn't they? They were sort of decent.
Oh, well, when he gets attacked by tons of them at once, doesn't he?
Well, the fake Jokers, the singing one where you play as Robin.
Oh,
section.
yeah. I really like that. I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, that's quite clever. It's almost. I mean, the best boss fight in all the Arkham games is probably the one with the Mr. Freeze in Arkham City. That was the best boss fight, I think.
I really like Killer Croc in the very first one where you're jumping over those panels, even though that was really annoying, the controls.
Oh, that drove me nuts.
But I really like that.
Well, that is almost on par with the Driller Underground scene, really, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because you're trying to pinpoint where he is on the map, and then he comes chases after you, and you've got to dodge out of the way and things like that. Yeah.
So
what did you gents think of, like...
At least I didn't do any bloody stupid Bane fights where you have to dodge out the way and he runs into the wall.
Oh, God, there were so many of those in Arkham Asylum. They drove me a bit nuts. By the end, I was like, not another one.
That's the default crap boss fight in any video game, really. Did
you gents think there was a lot of comparisons to the Christopher Nolan series with its kind of plot and some of the events that take place?
Well, the look of the game looks definitely like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever.
With the lighting scheme,
the lighting.
It's got a mix of everything, hasn't it? Because it's got Tim Burton's kind of gothic look to it, the industrial look. And then it's got, when you go to the city, it's got kind of like that Batman Forever look with this kind of neon strip lighting everywhere.
And purple floodlights. I mean, that's very...
Yeah.
that's only,
And all the thugs have like Mohicans and...
Yeah.
Thugs are really just Blink-182 fans.
With that moment, though, when the Scarecrow unleashes his kind of fear toxin on the city, which was quite a big event in the game, when that all occurred, I was thinking, well, this is like the end of Batman Begins.
Oh, yeah, with Ra's al Ghul, or Ra's al Ghul, as they like to call him in the movie, incorrectly.
That's right.
That was quite good, especially because I thought, that's the end of the game when they done that as well.
There was a couple of moments when I was like, this is the end of the game, and then I'd finish off that bit of a mission, I'd press right and do something else, and I'd realise I'm only about 60% through the game. I'm like, this is really good. Yeah, I was really impressed with that.
Like the percentage of the story, though, the main story is never 100%. I've kind of learned from the other ones where you think, I'm at 55%, then... about 10% in, you've completed it. You're like, oh, bugger. It's not 100%, but all the side missions all kind of clock it up to 100%. But also, I was saying earlier about the sort of comparisons to the Nolan trilogy, when you've got, when the police, not the police, sorry, when the tanks attack the police station, it's kind of chaos on the city. It's kind of like Dark Knight Rises at the end. Obviously it's doing its own thing, but I just thought to myself, just kind of nice little nods to the films throughout. But also with the voices from the cartoon, I think every part of the game has these nice touches to kind of satisfy all Batman fans.
Yeah, I think so. For me, this is the only bad thing about this is I want every movie to be like this game, like the way it's presented, and I just don't think I'm ever going to ever see it.
I don't think they can afford to make a movie like that, unless it's a CG movie. I think it's just too much for a lot.
It's really hard to tell, because if you look at the new Batman v Superman film, the Batmobile is kind of looking very similar to what we've seen in the game. It's got your kind of tank mode to it. Obviously, that's inspired by the Nolan Batmobile, but there's kind of nuggets of it you could see in the upcoming film, or when they do sequels with Ben Affleck. Who knows? They may kind of push for more of the visual design of the games, because to be honest, when people play the games, it's like this is the ultimate Batman simulator and how people want Batman to look like. It
really is. Going on those boss battles, bring him up again, but I really like the boss battle of Professor Pig. And the problem with the whole Professor Pig bit is you got to find all those like dead Christ held up bodies, and you do that little detective thing, which is probably the easiest thing to do in the game when you find them. But then when you actually do the fighting, I'm like, this is actually a really clever fight of him running around the table like the opposite way that you do, and throwing his knife and his big knife things. And I wanted there just to be a little bit more of a sequence like that, and it just didn't happen.
No.
I wanted to take down more of those. I don't even know what they're called, are they? Those
Dollartrons or something.
Dollartrons. Yeah. I wanted to do another one or two of those. Just he somehow gets away and he does it again somewhere else. It was just a couple. I really enjoyed that fight, and it was just suddenly over.
It was over too quickly for what it was. Especially a lot of the side missions are very sort of over too quickly. I mean, they're supposed to be. I mean, all the main villains like the Penguin, Two-Face, and that they're only sort of segregated to side missions, not part of the main story, and it just felt a bit. They felt like they were tagged on in the end.
Yeah, because Two-Face only has like maybe 3 or 4 missions until you actually arrest him, and the Penguin maybe has about 4 or 5. But what do you guys think is probably the most interesting?
Well, I was upset. I was upset with the Two-Face mission because I thought I was going to have this great boss fight with him or something. He can do something that the enemies can't. And the second he come in, I dropped a chandelier on his head and killed him instantly. I knocked him out. Yeah, you can't. Well, actually, you would kill someone with something several hundred pounds made of glass. I mean,
that was one of the biggest disappointments for me. Like when I was really excited about going up against Two-Face, and then I was doing my usual thing, like just bashing up one guy, and then someone else come running in behind it, suddenly ran over. You know where you automatically just jump to the next person and just start pounding him. And I jumped up. I've just killed Two-Face. I didn't even realise it was him. Like it was that easy.
Does it piss you off in the game when you're doing that thing where you're jumping about and he jumps over to somebody off screen and they got the bloody lightning bolt things? You just automatically punch them in their
They were fucking infuriating.
Yeah. That or the people who kept charging you all the time as well.
Yeah, because that was a new
kind of
attack, wasn't it? Because I was trying to think to myself, what's that in Origins? Because Origins had introduced kind of some new kind of combat system, hadn't they? I think.
Yeah.
And also you had those kind of gloves which made you kind of really indestructible, which I kind of just didn't use in this game.
I didn't know you had them in the game.
Didn't you?
No,
they're not. It's not in Arkham Knight. Sorry.
Oh, they're in Arkham Origins.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously they removed it. But there was moments when as you're saying with those guys where you can electrically charge you and things like that. There's moments where I think, this is so difficult. But then I thought to myself, the Batmobile is always there to use, but you sometimes often forget about it when you do some of these missions where you've got to take down loads of dudes. You think, let's get the Batmobile.
Yeah, just
shoot them all, It's the piss.
I done that in a car. I think one of the checkpoint missions, I just couldn't be bothered to shoot them either. I just ran in there and just doing donuts on them all. Anyway, what you were saying earlier about what was the best boss fight? Did you say or something? Side mission. I think they're all a bit crap, to be honest. I mean, none of them were particularly clever. I think the Riddler's ones put the most thought into them. I mean, the other ones are just repeating the same thing over and over.
They are. Yeah.
The Penguins one, fight a bunch of people and then blow up the safe. I mean,
I didn't mind those ones too much. I mean, I like the sort of you got to follow them and then they turn back and go back to their base, and it was always kind of the things where the team up fights, the dual combats where you've got Nightwing and Robin.
They're the Penguin ones, weren't they?
Catwoman as well, occasionally.
Yeah, that's right. And I was just desperate for more of those. I wanted kind of more of Robin thrown in because he essentially is a kind of a side mission. As you kind of it's part of the story, but it felt like a side mission where Robin's kind of.
Well, Robin's whole story is that just being a dick to from Batman half the time, wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't
want you just pleading, please.
Don't want you involved, Robin. Come into this cell, Robin. Look, it's all nice and fresh. I just wanted to check it out. Oh, got the door shut, Robin.
I got the impression Batman didn't like Robin in this game, did he? Well, he kind of preferred Nightwing. The old kind of. Is it Dick Grayson? That was it. Yeah.
Dick Grayson's Nightwing.
Yeah.
That was which Robin was that? That was I've forgotten his name.
And then you got the what's her name? The commissioner's daughter was like, "Go on, please play with Batman. Go on, no, play with Robin. Go on, go play with Robin. I don't want to play with Robin.
It's a pain in the ass.
Don't like Robin." I forgot what was his name. Tim something, isn't it? Tim Drake.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, Tim Drake. Because because the next Robin afterwards is his son, Damian Wayne.
Ah, Damian.
Yeah.
I just think of the Omen, don't you?
Actually, that was another thing. I thought that Arkham Knight might have been Talia al Ghul at one point. Because especially at the beginning of the game when you go up to a case and he's going, I'm so upset that you're dead.
Yeah.
And the other big twist thing at the end of Arkham City that I'm surprised they didn't do is there was always a big thing that Joker was mixed up with Clayface. And that's why he was always so healthy throughout the game, because it was actually...
Well, that's right, because even with the story when, Joker had kind of, infected everyone in the city, and all the blood transfusions they did, and only like 5 people who were obviously in the kind of the later stages of the virus. It is all. I thought to myself, was this a kind of a plot that was kind of discussed in Arkham City? I just couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and I was just like, oh,
Batman's infected as well.
That's right. Yeah, I haven't played Arkham City for since it came out. Once you've done it,
I don't think I need to play it again.
And go through it again.
When I went through Arkham City, I was actually DJing in a tiny little bar, and we had a massive CRT TV up because we had a Mario Kart night, and I took my Xbox 360 in, and basically it was me DJing 2 or 3 songs, and then someone else would do 2 or 3 songs, and when it was my turn not to DJ, I'd play a bit of Arkham City, and I'm so out of my brain drunk, and I'm like, and I don't remember much of Arkham City. I remember enjoying it. But...
well, no, the whole end of the story is so stupid that because not only it was a whole switcheroo thing with the Joker being ill and stuff on that. They had the Lazarus Pit there. I don't know. Do you remember what the Lazarus Pit is?
I don't.
It's the pit that makes Ra's al Ghul immortal. Basically, if he gets mortally wounded, he can just be put into the pit. Into the pit and then come alive and fully health again. But he goes a bit mental. He loses his sort of mentality. So I thought the Joker was going to be put in there because at the end of the last game, Batman gets knocked out, so he could have switched over in that time. So I thought Joker was going to be fake dead again and stuff like that. So, but obviously they wanted him dead. So like I said, there's a lot of plot holes in the game. In the last 2 games.
The DLC that's coming out is going to have nothing to do. It's not going to interlink with the story at all, is it?
It's a prequel, isn't it?
Oh, is that the Batgirl? Is that a prequel?
Batgirl's a prequel, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I suppose it's got a Joker in it, isn't it?
I thought the DLC was pretty weak, wasn't it, for Harley Quinn?
I haven't tried it yet.
Well, it's barely 20 minutes.
It's a prequel to the game. It's where she goes to pick up Poison Ivy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. The Red Hood side mission is going to be set after, which is out now. Again, only lasts about half an hour.
Yeah, with all the DLC that comes out, they're charging over £30 over here for the season pass. It'll pretty secure if all the characters, if it all accumulates to 5 or 6 characters, it probably end up being just over an hour and a half, maybe, if that. If you.
You could buy a whole game for that. It's like 6.
Well, yeah. It's a bit expensive just for a bit of add-on. Which is essentially already on the bloody game. I think
well, somebody's purchased it already, haven't they?
Yes.
Who's done that then?
I have.
Oh, you plonker!
I have. Yeah, I got a little bit excited and.
Well, you're going to be a bit upset if it's going to be nothing but skins.
Well, no, you got Batgirl coming on the 14th of this month, I think it is. I haven't bought a whole DLC pack or season pass, whatever you want to call it, since Burnout on the 360, Burnout Paradise.
Oh, blimey, that's a long time.
So yeah, I'm quite anti that sort of stuff. But unless you buy the big packs of it, like I have with Arkham Asylum and Arkham City on Steam when they went up for Christmas for the whole lot,
Yeah, because I got Arkham City packs when they were half price. You got Robin and things like that. And you got that kind of Streets of Rage kind of level where you're on the train. Beating everyone up. It's like a side scroller, which is quite cool.
Okay, I've not seen that. I only got Harley Quinn's Revenge for Arkham City.
Oh right.
On with this Arkham Knight game, I actually did think what they were trying to do with it was very obviously trying to replicate some of the best bits of Arkham Asylum. I always remember probably one of the greatest moments I've actually had in gaming in general was that part in Arkham Asylum where you're just walking down a corridor and I think you're hearing voices in your head or something along those lines in the asylum, and then suddenly the corridor you're walking down just suddenly turns, and you're, without realising it, you're now going down an old back street, and that's where you see your parents.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I was so mind-blown. I remember stopping, no way, how did they do this without me realising? I turned around and tried to see where the break point was, where they tried to do that to me.
At the end of Arkham Knight, doesn't he? When he's with the Joker, when you're playing as the Joker.
Yeah. But as soon as I saw that, I was like, it just reminded me of that original game,
Oh, definitely. There's moments where you're walking, you turn around, and suddenly there's a wall there.
Yeah.
And then Batman was standing there, a big stone statue. If you were a kid, if I was playing this, if I was like a 12-year-old kid, I'd probably shit my pants, because there's moments where you destroy all the statues, but they keep appearing and getting closer and closer. It was like that episode of Doctor Who where that statue gets closer to you when you close your eyes.
Yeah.
Open again. It was just like that, and I was I thought was so kind of creepy throughout.
I actually, it was about 2 or 3 in the morning when I was going through that part of the game, and I had my headphones on because I didn't want to wake the baby on upstairs. And I had it quite loud, and you remember you turn around, you see one over there, and you turn around, nothing's happening. Nothing's, oh, there's one over there, and then eventually they're everywhere, and you just got that music going, and it's just getting louder and louder, and you just keep doing it, and it's bang, 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 and then when it finally happens, you know it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, like completely shits you up.
I love the idea at the end of it all where Batman kind of locks him away.
Yeah,
and that's in his head. He's just got rid of him. You know, that method of fighting in his mind. I thought that was so clever.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I don't think there's any other way they could have topped that as a good way of ending sort of Joker's control.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it was such a kind of, the ending wasn't disappointing at all. It's all kind of it's all building up. There's more and more interesting plot points throughout the game, and when we get to the very end, it was so kind of effective. It wasn't deflated by, just a weak ending. There's so many games I've played where the ending's just so pap and just so kind of forgettable, but they've done so well throughout this kind of their own trilogy.
You're not going to forget that, are you?
No, you're not. And I'm a bit gutted they're not going to do any more. And but I'm sure Warner Brothers are obviously going to do more, aren't they? So they've got the license, they've got the engine, they can probably get another company of theirs to do something.
I don't know.
You got the heavy hints of a Superman game next.
Well, that's right, because throughout everyone's obviously found kind of the little Easter eggs of Metropolis and Superman, because they never refer to him as Superman, do they? They always go
the freak,
that freak from Metropolis, know. And if you've got the answer phone message from Lex, you've got posters on Metropolis, and you've got the LexCorp building. But I didn't know, is there any other ones you guys spotted?
There's a building to do with Arrow, isn't there?
Yeah, well,
Is there?
Queen Industries, they're all over the place. And also there's there's stuff to do with Mr. Freeze as well in there.
There's a poster that's right next to one of the super. So I don't know the history of or how it all works with Flash, but there's a poster to do with Go to Metropolis, and there was also another one to go to somewhere else, and that's to do with the Flash.
Star City.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I mean, it'd be great if Rocksteady were going to do a Superman game, but that would be a huge challenge for them.
Oh, and there's loads of posters of the Grey Ghost as well.
That's right, I saw that. I thought, what's the Grey Ghost from again?
From the Batman animated series.
It was in the animated series. Okay,
he was the influence of for Batman.
But you can't really take this sort of stuff as like that's what they're going to do, because there's also a Ace the Bat Hound.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Ace the Bat Hound game. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a standalone game. Maybe that's part of my DLC, my season pass.
Are you disappointed with any villains that didn't get a mention at all? I mean, I think I'm quite upset that what's his name? Scarface never got involved. I mean, he's in all 3 games, but he's never actually used whatsoever.
Well, I think, Larry, me and you were talking about this the other week, and you had mentioned Mr. Freeze, hadn't you, at one point?
Well, Mr. Freeze sort of ends his story in Arkham City because he turns into a good guy, doesn't he?
That's right. Yeah. So I was kind of, for some reason, because I was obviously saying earlier on, I kind of forgot about Arkham City's kind of plot points, and I was expecting him to turn up, but there wasn't. I mean, I still, with the idea of the Riddler, having to collect all the trophies, I still, need to fight him in the end. But it's the whole mission of getting all these trophies is such a pain in the arse. I don't think I'll ever do it. I've always, all this time, because the Riddler has been this guy in the background in all the previous 2 games, and now he's kind of there, but you just can't get to him because this kind of pain in the arse kind of puzzles are in the way.
For me, again, I always get excited with the people I don't know. So I mean, there was that guy. I can't even remember his name, but there was some religious guy. He had one thing you had to do. You had to go up. You had to kill 10. Was that what his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, you literally kill 15 people in a couple of minutes.
Shit bot fight.
And it was so easy. I jumped up to him, and I've got a minute left, and I'm just walking around the little cage just to have a look about, just to see if there is anything exciting to see. And then I'm just get him.
Because the side missions can be quite easy depending on. That one you just mentioned, I think that was quite an early side mission because he's quite easy, but I didn't do it till later on.
Yeah, I didn't do it till really near the end.
Because I got all the firefighters Well, I defeated that guy. Who's that guy who sets everything on fire?
Oh, Firefly.
Yeah, Firefly. Because I got him after 3 or 4 goes, or capturing 3 or 4 firefighters. But once I'd done that, every firefighter I caught later on, Batman saying, "Yeah, it's this guy. You know who it is." I'm like, "Well, you know who it is because he's already in jail." So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I had it that way as well. Yeah. I enjoyed those ones. I enjoyed those Batman, those little boss battles or whatever they are.
Well, there's a couple of hints to future Batman games if they ever do any more. Like that news guy he has to rescue from Blackfire. He actually in the comics he turns into the Creeper.
Oh, does he?
As well, yes. He's quite a big villain. Well, not a villain. He's a sort of good guy villain. He's sort of like a Catwoman, sort of ambiguous. But he ended up being the influence of Freakazoid as well, cartoon series. So yeah. But yeah, he turns into the Creeper in the comics. So there's loads of people who turn into things and stuff like that.
Sure.
There's a few characters that never get mentioned at all in the game, like Jim Gordon's son. He's a villain.
I think with all these games, they've always kind of focused on the main ones, haven't they? Sort of people everyone knows because it's just so much easier to sort of draw upon their history and kind of their importance within Batman's mythology.
I mean, there's loads of relations and things. Like Batman's got a brother in the comics, Thomas Wayne Jr. and stuff like that.
Really?
Yes.
Christ, never knew about that.
And he is the Owlman.
Oh right.
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. So he's.
They're going to be running out of animals soon, haven't they?
I am Stoatman. Well, there's only so many things that you can be scared of. I mean, I am small, fluffy kitten man. And...
Sloth dude. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing that instantly, when you get these hyped up games, I've literally been hyped up for this game pretty much since the City, and
they've been delaying it for about a year and a half, haven't they?
Oh my god! And because I pre-ordered it before I knew my wife was pregnant, and then I found out, fuck, it's coming out the week of my baby's birth. So gutted. And then it got delayed, and I was like, yes.
Your wife's pregnancy, or?
No,
but it's pretty cool,
no.
Doesn't it go, yes, she can hold it back for another week.
You stay in there.
Yeah, stay in there. Finish Batman.
And obviously I see all the stuff on E3 this year, and that thing you see where you see the Joker slide in and he burns in the furnace.
Yeah.
I knew that was how the game was going to start, and I put the game in and I pressed play and I saw him go in and nothing happened, and I'm like, what's going on? And I just touched the controller, I heard that click, and I'm like, oh my god, it's me. I'm the one burning the Joker. I was just like, this is going to be so good. I was just instantly hooked as soon as that happened.
Did you notice that the game kind of threw you into the gameplay quite quickly, actually, than I'd imagined? Because usually in, I think, Arkham City, I felt like the story at the beginning was a little bit longer. As Bruce Wayne's been arrested, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Then he kind of escapes and turns into Batman.
They have to make something quite cinematic because the first two games have been quite. I mean, the first one you're taking Joker tied up into Arkham Asylum.
Yeah. Did you see the little throwback to that as well?
Oh yeah,
right near the end. Yeah, I like that.
That is clever.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the graphics? Did you think it was something that could have been ported to the 360 or PS3?
I do know it couldn't because if you notice that there is not a single loading screen.
That's right.
In the whole game, aside
when you die.
Aside from that, aside from the Riddler missions, when you're going down in the lift, that's actually a loading screen.
That definitely,
that's
how
a loading
they're doing
screen.
That.
It's cleverly done, though.
Yes. You don't even notice,
Yeah. Also, something I found out today while watching some video online, this completely went over me, and it makes me almost want to start playing the game straight away again.
New Game Plus.
Yeah, I'm going to work it all out on that. But on the when you finally get this the whole toxin thing, and you start seeing the Joker everywhere, all of the posters around Arkham City change. I never noticed this. There's a video. You just type it in, you will find it. So basically, there's like posters, and they're all like 1950s looking posters, aren't they? I think like the majority of them, if not all of them. So there'll be ones of like someone cutting someone's hair, or they're putting a necklace on a woman. This guy putting a necklace on his lady, and then basically it changes to Batman cutting Joker's throat. and it's just full of stuff like that. And loads of the statues and the gargoyles you see on the side of buildings no longer all have Joker's face on, or a lot of them have Joker's face on instead, with the big red lipstick. And there was a video, and it went on for like 5 minutes, just like showing the comparison of before and after. I found today, and I was so blown. I was like, I want to start playing this again, like, because I went and just looked now at some of the, but none of them are there because I've completed the game now, and I'm just running around getting Riddler trophies. I fought off Joker, but yeah, like, check that out. I was blown away. It's so incredible, and it's good because it's obviously going to be something that if I didn't look this video up, it would be something that I would notice again next time I play.
Oh, definitely.
Maybe. Or I would just completely go past me again. But that sort of stuff, I really, really like that.
It is very clever. Anything that you didn't like?
I didn't like, sorry.
Yeah, anything that you didn't like.
I thought the later missions where you know, as we kind of highlighted earlier about the, you know, with the Batmobile and the tank, it was just down to frustration where you've got those massive tanks where you've got to shoot them from behind. You got to, you know, because the targeting thing was such a pain in the arse sometimes. You just have to get it.
It's too slow.
It is too slow, and they just turned a corner slightly, and you've missed it, and you're like, oh damn. And it was like 5 of them, and you've got that ginormous one, the massive gun turret, which Arkham Knight's using.
Yeah, you can only shoot from the front.
And that was challenging. But I mean, it's frustration built out of, you know, it's not holding your hand, you know, because so many games nowadays kind of let you save whenever you want, and
it's still quite forgiving. I mean, it was
forgiving to a certain degree.
I mean, it will start you off again at a certain point of the boss fight. You don't have to do the whole fight again.
Oh yeah, because I was so happy when that happened.
Yeah,
I'm doing that again.
Are you just thinking in your head, if I got to start again, I'm turning it off right now?
Oh yeah, I'm going to bed.
Yeah,
it's 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm going to bed now.
I'm not doing that.
But yeah, that was kind of the thing that kind of disappointed me. But I thought, because I'm so used to sort of the gameplay mechanics, the story was so engrossing. Anything that kind of popped up that was slightly kind of a bit repetitive, it didn't really bother me. I think probably the Riddler challenges were probably the first, you know, after about 5 or 6 were kind of getting a bit grating when you had to keep redoing them. But it was fine. I mean, you've got the driving segment where the car goes up the wall and you got to, you know, drop the barriers. That took a bit of timing to do, because it just, you know, it's such a strange kind of method where it would just be at the split second you've got to lower it then raise it, you know. But no, I thought it was kind of just I think it's a perfect 9 out of 10 game. You know, no game's ever 10 out of 10. I don't think.
Oh, you can't say that. There's no point in having 10 out of 10 if you don't ever reward something 10 out of 10. It's only a number, anyway. It's an arbitrary thing, anyway.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
But there was something I did notice. Actually, talking about it, that thing where he says they later on in the game they had this thing where one of the enemies has a bomb on them that'll kill them. Do you remember that?
Yeah. They're part of the Riddler challenges, aren't they?
Are they?
Are they the ones where you have to use the Batarang, the remote control one? You throw it down, and what it does, it scans all of the rioters. One of them will turn red, and he goes, "That's the one." And then what you have to do is basically throw your Batarang through an electric pulse. Then it turns into an electric Batarang, and then you hit that one person without dodging everyone else.
I hate those missions where you got to throw the Batarang, and then it zooms in on the Batarang itself, and you got to move it around, and they drove me nuts in the other versions as well.
They're a lot more forgiving in this one, I've noticed. That I
think the controlling it's a little bit more kind of forgiving, as it were.
No, I mean in the last one, if you touched a wall, that was straight it. That would end.
Oh yeah, it bounces up 2 or 3 times, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'd be pinpoint accuracy, didn't it?
I mean, it's not totally realistic. Imagine a real thing where it's just a big pile of Batarangs in this air vent because they couldn't get around the corner.
Yeah, I was quite excited when I saw one of my Batarangs on the floor. Oh, look, it's still there. And I threw another one, and the original one had gone.
Oh. But I think the gameplay kind of mixed everything up really well, because Dan hasn't gone through all of Origins yet, but you know, Origins was kind of there was far too much fighting, which always a bit of a strain on your hand, because when you're doing constant fighting and countering, I always got like cramp after a while. I was like, oh, my hands are killing.
Yeah, that's what I get.
So with this one, you know, because you've got the Batmobile, you've got the side missions where you're not constantly have to fight, but there's always a fighting segment thrown in, but it's never ridiculously long. I think the gameplay was so varied; it made it quite refreshing to play. You know, as you kind of progress through the game. But weird thing is they've kind of with the challenges on the game, they've kind of changed up a bit, haven't they? There's no longer Well, I don't remember when I selected through the options. There wasn't, you do the traditional Batman mission where you've got to try and take everyone down. But it just seemed to have loads of virtual reality missions.
Well, you got the Azrael ones in this.
Oh, they're a pain in the arse, they are.
I found them. There was like maybe 4 or 5 of those, and all the ones leading up to the last one had those like electric bolts where you just punch, and then you have to jump over them and then punch them in the back. And they were so annoying, you'd die over again. And it's like
when you completed it though, when you went to, obviously he's going to try and kill Batman, take him down. Did you let him walk away or did you attack him?
I let him walk away. What did you do?
I let him walk away as well.
Damn it!
I don't know what he's going to do because he's going to obviously grab the sword and Batman will just counter it and punch him. But
yeah.
I haven't done that bit yet.
Oh dear, sorry, Larry.
Well,
it's spoilers, so
Yeah, I'm not supposed to be one being spoiled. It's the viewers that are being spoiled, not me.
Tough
but then basically all those electric bolt ones were just seriously annoying, and you have to keep throwing your little thing, that thing out of your hand, and then pull them over. Get over here. And then you could kill them. But then the final one was just a load of those ninja ones, and they were just easy to get rid of. It's always the way, isn't it? Like the final boss is actually a lot easier than everything building up to it.
The ninja ones always drove me nuts because they'd always get in with a quick slash of their sword.
You have to be quicker, don't you, with with that top button, the triangle button to counter it.
Yeah, that thing where you got to press hold it and away to do it. I could never got it right. And sometimes Batman just walk around calmly and that. And the guy's slashing with his sword, he just walking around like nothing's happening. So
no. Oh, go on.
No, you go ahead, go on.
I was just saying, like, for me, I think the biggest disappointment of the game, and I is really like namsy-pamsy, but I think there's so many few little things that maybe I'll change. Maybe I have a little bit more info about this character and that character, a tiny bit more. Maybe I wouldn't have Professor Pig, all of his challenges just be go up to someone, scan them, and then go to a final fight. It'd be quite nice if there was a scanning mission, and you had to go do something else, or something a little bit different, and something a little bit different, maybe another scanning mission, and then one awesome fight like it was at the end, or a couple of awesome fights.
I think they could have expanded more on the detective side of things.
Yeah, I did like the thing where you've got like a video recorder, you can rewind events that happened.
Was that not from Origins?
That's in Origins, yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually one unique thing that actually brought in, that team did.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was actually quite effective. But even though when you played it in Origins, it's set before Asylum, so you're like, well, why has he got this such advanced technology which he didn't have in Asylum, So which made it kind of a bit hokey pokey. But I mean, when you kind of use it in Arkham, Arkham Knight is actually very, very helpful. It's like watching an episode of CSI or something,
Yeah.
You zoom in on the really grainy CCTV footage to get the HD quality photo, But yeah, like maybe those scanning missions where you scan and you have to go through the different layers of the skin and the bones and all that sort of stuff. I think that would be nice if that was actually in the storyline, and just 1 or 2 of them rather than 4, just because they're so easy when you find them.
Well, they're a bit similar to the Hush missions in Arkham City as well. You kept finding bodies with bits of their face missing, body parts missing, weren't you? Because he was making himself look like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah,
so that was over too quickly as well. That Hush mission things as well.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's trying to emphasise as a kind of rush for Batman to sort of save the day, as it were, because it's only all in one night.
Yeah.
Obviously, it feels like a night that lasts for a week.
Yeah, well, it does if you're playing the game.
You're playing the game.
Time, yeah.
I suppose there's kind of I suppose the side missions were kind of slightly redundant. I wish, as I said, I think there should have been it should have woven into the story.
They really wanted you to play those side missions, though, didn't they?
They really did, though. Yeah, but I suppose I would put that into category of nitpicking because it's still kind of fun. It does extend the game, and the way that kind of all bounces out the gameplay. It's when it comes to the end, it's all kind of it's all very satisfying.
Yeah, because the thing is, the game is a decent. I mean, the main story of the game is a decent length, and if they did take out those Scarecrow missions and put them as DLC, and they were in there, like, I'd still, even without those, I still think it's a pretty decent length of the game. I think it's pretty good, and I think my only nitpick is I just literally want to play more and more of like the main story.
Yeah, because the game is absolute like time sponge, because you don't realise how much time you're playing it, and then because it's so long, you don't realise how much time's passed. So you don't, if you calculate how many hours you've put into it, it's probably over 20 hours or more, and that for a single player game, that's really good. I mean, other than like an RPG, which is, they're so time consuming, which I don't really play them. But with a kind of action adventure game, that's good bang for your buck, really.
I think so. I'm really chuffed with it, and that wanting more is just the reason why I bought that DLC.
I'll wait a year till next summer when it's like.
Well, just wait till Christmas and get the Game of the Year edition.
Get the GOTY edition, yeah.
I'm not buying it again.
Are you going to be buying the Arkham pack that comes out, the HD remaster of the original 3?
If it's if the graphics are a major improvement, and it's like 20 quid, whatever.
It won't be 20 quid, I don't think. I reckon it'll be a full price.
It'll be full price, but they'll probably be
I won't, because I'll just go play it on the Xbox 360. You probably have to. Actually, what they'll do, because now they've made the Xbox One kind of backwards compatibility with the 360, they probably won't allow you to play the 360 one, because they want you to buy it, on the Xbox One.
Sure, that'll go down well.
I know, they always do that. But, if it's good value for money, I'll probably buy it again.
Because I've only actually played through Arkham Asylum once. I think I would buy it because I want to go back and see if it is just my mind, running on that nostalgia factor, which game is better. Because I do think the original Arkham Asylum is literally one of the greatest single-player games I've played, and I want to see if this is better than that.
8 years old now, no Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, it's one of those games where kind of, when people compare the trilogy, it's always Asylum's the best, but I think at the time I thought to myself, this is the best Batman game ever, and it's probably one of the best games I've played in a long time. So if I went back to it now, hopefully I'd still have the same opinion and think it is the best out of the trilogy. But so far at the moment, with my kind of memory, it's Arkham Knight, I think, is the best. But I could just return to those other games and think, well, they clearly are better. But it's all down to kind of nostalgia and kind of memory, on it. But yeah, as I say, if it's remastered, comes out, I'll definitely pick it up again. But I've completed it twice. Asylum, yeah. Did it on hard. I did Arkham City. I don't think I did Arkham City on hard, because that just becomes too frustrating, because they take away the counter notification, don't they? You don't actually know when they're going to hit.
Oh, really?
In the first one they do, the second one they don't.
I'm sure they did, Larry.
In New Game Plus they take it away.
Right, okay, that's what I did then, yeah. I got to the level where you're playing as Catwoman in Arkham City, and when they're taking away that counter, symbol, I was like, drove me nuts.
I haven't actually played any of the DLC in the second one, City.
Oh, okay. I only played the Harley Quinn.
You should do. I mean, the Robin one's probably... Well, to me, the Robin one was actually the most interesting. Because it's got that Streets of Rage kind of feel to it. He's on the train,
Oh, that gets me excited.
Exactly. So.
Definitely. No, I was, well impressed. It's, without a doubt, the best game of this generation on those two consoles so far.
Well, it's not much competition, really, because after my bloody HD remasters, Definitive Edition.
Well, Batman Arkham Knight was the game that made me buy a next gen console. Because for so long.
Well, you had no choice otherwise. You
I had no choice. No, I had no choice in the end.
Well, you could get it on PC.
He's got a Mac.
Well, it is coming out on the Mac, so shush. But it was, I mean, I had to get. I obviously knew I had to get a new machine at some point, but it was a driving factor, and I got an Xbox One in the end. Some people were like, "Olly, you should have got a PS4." I was like, "Well, I wanted Killer Instinct, so my mind was made up." But yeah, it definitely is the killer app, as it were, for the next machine, or the new machines. There's so many people, so many of my friends don't have a PS4 or an Xbox One, and they're desperate to play it, and they've got to put down £250 plus for a new machine.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, it's worth it.
It is worth it, yeah. You've got over 20 plus hours of gameplay, and that's just like, well.
It's one of the best superheroes, and it's the best way to experience anything Batman. I think. I mean, except for reading the original Frank Miller comics or something along that. I think it's the best way to experience it. It's better than the movies and everything.
It is better than the movies. It's it's got the story and kind of depth of probably animation, as well, but also the comics, which is inspired from. But so as a kid, just playing the Batman on the Commodore 64, then the Mega Drive version, and Batman Returns, it was always, the games were always generally quite good, but it was never felt like you're Batman, because obviously the graphical limitations. But now it's like the ultimate experience of being Batman, and you could just piss around all day, just flying around or beating people up or doing random challenges, and it never really gets that boring.
When it comes down to Batman games, actually, the Batman Returns is the one with Batman Returns on the Mega CD and the Genesis. I think was the one
Genesis,
that really captured
English, goddammit, Mega Drive.
Mega Drive. The that it got that vibe of the movie, and I don't think any other Batman game's done it before these Arkham games have come along.
Really? I never got on with Batman Returns on the Mega
no,
Drive.
I thought the game was crap, but I just really liked the look of it.
What about the Super Nintendo one? That was very sort of Tim Burton-ish, the game, the graphics and that.
I think they captured the film really well. I think because they obviously replicated the music as as a great kind of additional nod to the film. But the Mega Drive one is I always remember it being quite purple and blue.
Yeah,
and
it has some orange sort of to make everything look dirty.
Yeah. It was a unique kind of design, but it didn't kind of gel with me because it was such a nightmare to play. So.
Well, I had a religion, a rule to never sell my games, and that was the only game I ever sold. I really didn't like the game, but I really liked the look of it.
You just stare at it for ages and go, right, I'm done.
But yes, that is our review of Batman Arkham Knight. I think any closing comments on what your opinions are? Can you say?
I would say best Batman game so far for me. I mean, I trying to think back now to Arkham Asylum and City, but I know those games were just as good, but for story wise and the drama and the twists and turns, it was just it worked so well for me on it felt like a film as well with its execution of its plot.
A 20-hour long film.
Yeah. And if you haven't got an Xbox One or PS4, it is the game to really encourage you to buy a new machine and step up to the next generation of consoles.
Yeah, I think it's as few games can live up to the hype, and I really do think this one, playing it as soon as I press play, I was instantly up. This is it. I think it might be the best. It's between this and Asylum, without a doubt. But like I say, I need to go back and play Asylum. It's literally been about 7-8 years since I've played that. It could be the best. It literally does everything. You've got the really scary moments that make you jump out your skin, and you've got the jumping action. I really like the Batmobile, so that helps as well. I was well impressed with it.
Excellent. Yes, that's I don't really think I can put anything towards that further. Really, no. And it is a fantastic Batman game. It's probably one, if not the best Batman game aside from Asylum.
It was a game for me I just could not put down. So
no. Well,
that's the best thing to kind of give a game. If it's something that's so addictive you can't put it down.
If you're playing a game, don't notice that 5 hours have gone past, and then that is a good game. Really.
Yeah. Exactly.
Considering our biggest nitpicks, it's not long enough, and none of us have 100% completed the game yet.
So yes, but thanks very much for watching. If you want to check out these other people's YouTube channels, what's your YouTube address, Ollie?
Well, it's just put in Oliver Harper, and you'll find me so easily. All my stuff is under retrospective reviews of 80s and 90s movies.
Yes, and you also have a Let's Play channel as well, don't you?
I do indeed. Yes, that's Oliver Harper's Let's Play Retro.
Okay, yes, and what's yours, Dan?
Yeah, you can find me as Daniel Ibbertson or Slopes Game Room.
Okay, and what do you do?
Retrospective and historical reviews on series of video games and the creators.
And there you go. So check them out. Their YouTube URLs are in the video description. So if you want to check them out, go to, because they're highly recommended and they're not crap, apart from Dan. But,
whoa! No,
50-50. No, he does fantastic stuff. They're very well. Both of them do extremely well researched material, and it's not just stuff they nicked off Wikipedia. So.
No comment.
They spend literally minutes researching their videos. So, no, okay. But thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.